Okay, let's make geodes. My first attempt with these new moulds have had arrive, but I am working out how to make crushed glass stay where I want it to when I put it on first. So here's a little tip for you. I'm sure people have thought of this before, but to me it was like, woohoo, I've invented a thing. I probably haven't. Anyway, what I'm doing is putting a bit of ultraviolet curing resin around the centre where I want the crushed glass to go, and I've got a beautiful rose gold here. I'll put you the links for everything below. So all I'm doing is fixing that with some ultraviolet light. I don't need to cure it completely. I'm just getting it to sort of stay put. That's all at this stage. I'll be doing the same thing but with silver in the other mould. I've also got a whopping great big mould, which I'm quite excited to have a play with at some point. And I've got these little tiny moulds here that I want to do sort of jewellery size. I think they might be quite fiddly. I have tried them once before and had kind of reasonable results. This is going everywhere. I'm going to have a real good clean up before I do the next stage. So yeah, fast forwarding from here. The colours that I'll be using, I'm going to go for minty colours, I think, in the silver one. Yeah, minty colours, maybe some blues, that sort of thing. Lilacs, don't know. That sort of part of the colour range anyways. This one, not sure yet, but I'm going to stick the UV lamp over them, give them another quick zap, have a tidy up with their sparkles here, and then I'll be back to put some colours in. Right, so these are well and truly cured. I'm mixing up some resin now. As you can see, I've got little pots everywhere. There's a load off screen as well. I've got an assortment of different powders from various different sources. I've got mica powders. I've got slightly chameleon-y ones. I've got a pigment paste. I've got some floating silver. God knows what I'm going to do with this lot. And some, what's that one called? Luxury sparkle mica pigment. Oh, it's sparkly flake stuff. Anyway, I'm just surrounded by sparkly stuff, so let's see what I can do with it all. Right, before I clean my stirring stick off, I'm going to put a dollop in each little pot, because it might be the less messy way to do it, is what I'm thinking. 3 dollops. The little ones that are just up the top here, I'm going to just kind of chuck bits in as we go. I think I might be going for the minty colours in those as well. So let's mix up a decent amount of the minty colour. Need to zoom out a little bit, don't I? There we are, so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Right, first of all, the minty colour. Now this is a pigment paste, so it will be very opaque. Very pigmented. I won't need much colour. This one is from Just For You Online. As you can see, when you use a paste, it's a very strong colouring straight off, which is what I want really here. So there's that. Give it a good stir in, make sure I've got every little bit off my stick. But really, you saw how little there was on the stick there. It's more than enough the effect I want. So that's that one. Clean stick, onto the next. So basically I'm just lining up my colours for the first one. Right here. And next one. Let's have a bit of this kind of colour flippy one. Don't know where this was from actually. I thought it was a Let's Resin one, but I'm not sure now. Right, now this is a mica powder as opposed to a pigment, so it's sparkly. It colour shifts a bit in this case as well. As you can see, it's kind of going through blue and green there. Isn't that nice? And that's probably enough powder in it. These are only very small pots, but what I'm going to do is let it sit for a minute, because if there's any blobs, they'll come to the surface. You know, powders sometimes blob. So that's our second colour for this one. Now I'm going to want some white, and for this I'm going to use a white pigment paste again, and I'm going to use quite a decent sized pot of it, because I want to make sure I have plenty. Again, my khaki-handed way of getting the tops off these. Someone tell me a better way of getting the tops off, because I'm sure that's not how you do it. I saw it on a video somewhere and I can't remember what they did, but it came off far more neatly than that. Oh dear. So this is a brand new pot of pigment paste, and it is from Just For You online again. Now I am at some point going to do a video of having a go at making my own pigment paste, and we'll see how they compare to the professionally done ones. I'm sure they won't be anywhere near as good, but would be okay as a standby if you've run out or can't get the colour you want. So I'll have to play with that at some point. But as you can see, this is the proper job. Look how white that is already, and that was the tiniest little bit on my stick. Now all of these I'll be giving them another stir before I go in with them anyway. So let's just put that one to one side for a moment. And then I feel like I want a slightly bluer colour as well. So I've got this one. Now this one is from Let's Resin. So again, putting the white, let's put the white to the back there. Now this is very much a sort of a beautiful shimmery blue, and I'm putting quite a bit in. I just feel as if this silvery one with the mints and the greens could just do with a little bit of weight. So that is a dark, slightly darker, not very dark, but just a little bit darker blue. Now what we're going to do with these is try to pour them in rings, pausing every so often to put a bit of sparkle in or whatever we think. Now this resin, as it's a 1-to-1, is thick-ish. It's not excessively thick. It's a good all-purpose resin, so it should stay in position a little bit. Now the other thing I've got here is what is supposed to be a sparkly white. I don't know what cloud of smoke. This is from Pretty Things, super bright white, and it says pearl. Now usually when you have a pearlescent white, it's not that white. So let's see what it's like. Oh yeah, it is. It's pretty good. They usually go creamy, but look at that. It's quite nice. I'll put you a load of links below as usual while I'm stirring away here. Big thanks to my new channel members. It's taken off rather quicker than I expected, so I'm really pleased to have you on board. I hope you're enjoying the freebies that are there at each level of membership. Let me know if you have any ideas as to other things I could include for you. So that actually, I'm pleased with that. That's really nice. Right, let's have a look at the other ones, see if there's any blobs, lumps or anything like that that I should be taking care of. Surprisingly not actually, it's looking good. I mean, you shouldn't get it with the paste, it's the powder ones that are the devils for doing that. Lovely colour. Yeah, looking good, no lumps and blobs and splodges and anything else like that. Just going to give the paste one another little stir just to make sure I've got that mixed in well. Right then, this is now the fun bit, and I'm going to be doing similar things with the little one up here. So let's put that one out of the way for a moment. Let me just check what you're in shot for. Let's bring you in a little bit. There we go. So we're going to just start tipping colours in. Now, to be a nice contrast to the silver, I think I want some blue first. So we're just going to go around like this. Now, the fact that we fix the silver in with some clear UV resin first should, I hope, mean that the silver stays clear of it. Now, in these little ones at the back, I'm just chucking it in and seeing what happens, to be honest. We'll just see where it goes. Right, round there, I think I want to go in with some of the white pearl. Now, clearly these are going to blend into each other. But let's hope that whatever blend we get is nice. Ooh, that's a nice colour, isn't that a lovely colour? Lovely greeny version of turquoise. Real turquoise comes in lots of different colours. There is a greeny version, and this one to me is the slightly greenier one. Right, let's have a little drizzle of actual white now, because I think that'll break it up a little bit. Trying to see what this comes out like. And then let's go in with the pearly, greeny, bluey colour. Yeah, it's looking quite green, but it's got a bit of a... It's kind of like a Caribbean blue, but lighter. Oh, it's really nice. So wherever this one came... This is the one I couldn't remember where it came from, wasn't it? Well done, whatever firm that was. A little bit more going into one at the back here. Right, and that one's pretty much all used up now. Now you can see, partly because of the lopsided shape of this geode, there are places where I'm up to the edge and places where I'm not. But the resin will keep pushing around. She says, talking like she knows what she's talking about. Remember, this is the first time I've tried to do a geode. Right, that's the last of the pearly white. Might have to mix some more of that up to do the other one. So enough for a few little drips in here. Yeah, there is. Goodness knows what these are going to turn out like. They're so tiny. Don't want to put too much white in those anyway, I don't think. Right, let's have another little run round with the green. Now, if you're not too confident about getting this nice and these lines as fine as you want them, if you want them fine, then of course you can use piping bags, or those very fine, they're kind of like piping bags that they use for henna tattoos. That, I believe, would work rather well as well. I've got some of those I want to try. Just need to do a little bit of research as to exactly how first. Okay, we're nearly out of the blue, so I'm just getting this as far as it can go. Going drip at a time now. I could mix a little bit more up, but I'm not going to. Now this is not very deep, despite the amount of colours I've put in there. So I might end up, yeah, just throwing a top coat over it of clear or something. When it comes to, you know, the final finishing touches. But you can already see these colours are starting to move and push around. Let's put a bit more of the pearly greeny one. There's a few more drips left than I realised, so let's put a little bit into that little negative space there. Other than that, it's pretty much up to the edges now. Now what my hope is because I did stick the silver on with some clear, that will prevent the silver getting lost. Isn't that nice? Now I seem to be losing the white a little bit, so I'm going to go around again like so, just roughly. Got a bit of a blob there, so I'm going to just guide it a little bit, stretch it out. There we are. Now that looks a little bit shallow still to me, and of course we haven't put any clear in, and I've got quite a lot of clear left, so this is where I do clean my spatula off. And we're going to run round just like so, which will probably move everything and do some wacky stuff with the colours. So we will see. Very experimental, all of this, as you can tell. There's some little places where the colour's not sort of doing anything very exciting. Mind you, we don't know what it's doing the other side, do we? So I'm just going to chuck a little bit more clear in, just to encourage that to do something. There we are. Now I need to try and move that out of the way without disturbing it, don't I? A little bit of green left as well, look. Let's put a bit more green in these too. Sorry, turquoise. Okay, now I need to try and move this to one side without upsetting it. Oh yes, the final thing I was going to do, I nearly forgot. It disappears into a cloud of silver dust. This is Just For You Online's floating silver. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my stick and do a little bit of tracing around with it. Now this obviously is only going to be on one side, and I don't yet know which side of this is going to be my top and which is my bottom. You know when they say you don't know your arse from your elbow? Yeah, it's a bit like that. But I just thought this would give it a little bit of je ne sais quoi. My French teacher would kill me. Right, there we are. It's crap at French. There. Now that's going to stay on the surface. You can mix it in, you can paint it onto the inside of moulds and all sorts. Right, let's put to one side the ones I've used. Now I had got a deeper purple that I was going to go with, but I'm not sure. I'll leave that here just in case. Let's get these out of the way. Now I haven't used any of that. I may or may not. Now, if I can move this without shooting it everywhere, we'll be laughing. What I'll do, by the way, when these are finished, I'll shove them in front of the camera and we'll run a time lapse on them. So with this again, I'm going to need the white. I am going to mix up a bit more of the pearlescent white. So I've got plenty of my clear left. And this one, because it's rose gold, I'm going to use rose gold and pink. And this time I'm going to mix up a bit more of the colours, I think. That took more colours than I thought, that previous one. So I will mix up a bit more. I'm just pouring it out of the jug rather than using the stick now, because as the jug's gone down a bit, it's easier to pour. Okay. So we have got... Where's the rose gold? There it is. So rose gold. It's more of a, it's quite deep, or at least it looks quite deep in the pot. Let's see what it looks like when you mix it. You can always add a little bit of white, of course, but let's put quite a lot in. Yeah, that's more of a, that's almost reddish coppery colour, isn't it? it's nice. But I think I'm going to bring that down a little bit. I don't know. I'll leave it and see. This one will blob because I've left powder around the edges. That is not rose gold. You see, it's this is the thing. Look at the difference in colour. Hasten to add, it didn't say rose gold on the pot. None. Some of these I don't know where these were from. These were cheap ones I've had for years. That was just how I interpreted what the pot looked like. So I stuck RG on the lid. Right, we're going to need some more of the white. I did like that pure white. So we're going to have some more of that. Going to get some more of this, I think, actually, because it's only a little bag. Like I say, usually the pearl whites are they go more creamy. Or you get like a blue or something in them, don't you? They're more like an interference one. This is proper pearly white. Okay, that's going to need another stir in a moment. Just want to get my colours together, really. And I wanted a pink. I thought I'd got a pink out. Maybe I didn't get a pink. That's more like a rose gold, isn't it? Bronze pink it's called. Okay, let's have some of that. I'm sure I got a pink though. No, an actual pink. A lot of powder. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that is quite rose goldish, and that has got a bit of colour shift in it. So I think we're liking that one. Now I just want a pale pink next. Here we are. That's a girly pink, isn't it? And if it turns out to be a little bit too dark, not a problem, I'll mix some of that white in with it. Right, where's my clear gone? Let's have a bit more. Does anybody else find the mixing the colours bit rather too satisfying? I sometimes think I could spend all day just mixing colours and not actually get anything done. So what do I want next? I think I want a bit of contrast next to the sparkle in the middle. And I'm going to go for white as my contrast. So and this is the pearl white. So I'm going to put that around here. Then I might go around the outer edge with this as well. It's different to the other one, because the other one really I went with the darker colours up against the little shattered crushed glass pieces, the little sparkles, and that was simply because it's silver and I thought, you know, it wants something dark against it. Now with this, because it's darker to start with, the little crystals, then I'm going to mix a bit more up at this, I think. Yeah, because it's a bit darker to start with, I thought that it would need light against them. So I'm just going to mix a little bit more of that one up. I'll put a lot more powder in it that time, I think. Well, same amount of powder, but a lot less resin. But make sure I mix it okay. Because they're geodes, I don't think I'm going to panic too much if I do get any blobs anyway, because they're kind of like a natural stuff, aren't they? A natural thing. Oh, what's the word? Rock thing. Crystal. So, you know, they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be uniform. There are going to be variations in them. Note the way, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm pinching the little pot to regulate how much comes out. I slipped up a second ago and got a big blob, but you can actually be fairly controlled at what comes out of it, these little silicone pots, by squidging them. Okay, I've got a tiny dribble left in there in case we need it. And then I think we'll go around the outside next with this quite sweet pink that I've made up. Then, what should we have? I was going to go in with the white next, but I don't think I will. The plain white, that is. Instead, I think I'm going to go for the coppery colour. Anybody who knows how to do these is probably, you know, this must happen a lot during my videos. People sat there going, no, that's not how you do it. Fine, I'm enjoying myself. Isn't that what our crafting is all about? So this is the one that's more like a rose gold, I suppose. Now I haven't put any actual white in yet. So I am going to drizzle that around now. Maybe separate some of these colours out. There's a little bit of blobbing going on there, but I'm not going to panic too much. Like I said, they're not going to be perfect anyway, are they? I could, in fact I will, get my stick and just pull those out a little bit. There we are, look. Same there. I've got quite a bit of this goldy coloured one left, so let's have a run round with that again. I haven't got a great deal of the dark one going on. Mind you, like I said, who knows what's going on the other side. So let's go around with that again. And I seem to have lost the pink rather. But at least on this side we have, so a little bit I've got left. Just going to run around with that again. Move that a little bit. There we are, get some little blob out of there. There's a bit of a blob there as well. Not that it's going to matter because all this is just going to keep moving, isn't it? Got a little bit of the pearly white left. So let's just put a little dash in amongst that dark area there. I'm guessing this white's going to sink. White pigment does tend to sink. I think it must just be heavier. So whether that'll happen with the pearl white, I'm not sure, but we'll see. And we've ended up with a couple of bits where it's a little bit too plain for my liking around the edges. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that metallic, almost but not quite rose gold in a couple of places. Just using up the tiny bit that's left in my pot, and I'll encourage that around a little bit. I'm going to have a go at making myself a mould for a live edge one at some point, by the way, so watch this space. That is a little project that's currently only in my head, because there is some quite strong colours in there. Let's see what that does. And I'm just going to bring the other one back into shot so you can see what's going on. And I might dollop a last little bit of white into this as well. Just because I've got a little bit left. Got a bit of clear left as well, so let's dilute the white a little bit. There we go, just as I've got enough to go around, because this one does need a little bit more, I think. I was gonna stick this on time lapse, but I noticed the battery's going flat. Now I will leave it running for as long as the battery holds out. Okay, let's have these little cuties out first. I'm not expecting miracles of these, because as you saw, I did just kind of stuff things into the mould. Oh, it's quite sweet though. Yeah. Not overexcited about that one. Oh, that's quite cute. I will post up a video where the last time I tried these and I paid a bit more attention because I wasn't being distracted by some bigger ones. They did come out quite well, so I'll show you those. And that's surprisingly nice. Okay, let's have a look at these two. Should we do them in the order that we did them? Right, let's have a look at this one. These might be just very slightly soft still. Only slightly. Yeah, we're okay. Now, as you can see, the backs look rather nice. I'm just dying to see what the other side looks like. Now, I haven't top coated. I did think about it, but I haven't. So these are going to be fairly thin. Right, let's have a look. Oh, quite pleased with that for my first attempt. And the sticking the glitter in like that, or rather the glass flakes, or are they? Crushed glass, that's what they are. That seems to work quite well. Got a little bit there where it's gone over. Just going to get the scissors and snap that off in a bit. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, rather like that. Well, how odd. It's 10 to 11 at night and the milkman's just coming round. Surely that milk will have gone off by the morning. Sorry, there's funny things going on outside my window. Right. Oh, I quite like these little moulds. They're only cheapies and they're quite shallow. But it looks like they're deep enough to do what I wanted. Could always dome them off a bit, I suppose. Getting the middle bit out's the fiddliest bit. There we go. Got it. Right, let's see how these colours have come out. Oh yeah. Got some strange lines in them. I think that's from where I did something funny with the UV resin. I kind of like both sides. I might... See, that's a little bit concave. I didn't really fill that one up enough. Don't think I did with either of them really. So I might just fill that up with a little bit of UV. Don't know. But quite pleased with that for my first attempt. It sort of does look geode-ish. Could have done with a bit more of the gold coming down here maybe. Yeah. Kind of works. This one, the silver has gone into the middle more. I think if I did it again, I'd put a whole lot more of the silver in the middle. And I don't know, maybe those colours could have blurred a bit more. Anyway, stop rambling. First attempt, not too disappointed. If you like this video, folks, you know what to do. There's a thumbs up button down here. There's also the subscribe button if you haven't already. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you for all your support too. Oh, and don't forget, this resin, the Just For You online resin. If you want some of this or that pigment paste, I'm not on commission from them or anything like that, but I have been given, very kindly, they gave me a discount code to share with you all. So you'll find that in the description down below with all the other links. Don't forget to use it. 15% is worth having, I believe. All right. Thanks, folks, then, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye.